So, come Saturday night, I'm coming in here to beat his. He gonna come, he gonna be tough, strong, but I'm coming to whoop his. I stand by that. I stand by that. I'm him up. Yeah.
You gotta think, right? It's okay.
I can't wait to beat this clown, bro. This dude is a clown.
Focus on me.
You better have that chin ready, baby. You better have it ready.
Real clown.
I already figured your out.
What else,
fighting?
What else you got, man?
Yo, Senior, you're
I only
not
seen
in the
10
ring.
seconds of your fight.
I seen you fight before.
I only
You
seen
can't
10
fight.
seconds of your fight. You're boring as hell.
Come on, bro. Stop it, bro.
Boring, man. You almost got knocked out. Even your daughter said you got knocked out.
Knocked out. Tio got hurt his
Come
last
on,
fight too.
Ooh.
Didn't he
The
get hurt
better
his last
drop,
fight?
man, if it wasn't for those
Did Tio get hurt his last fight?
My son don't be throwing
Did
punches,
Tio
man.
get hurt his last fight?
My son don't be throwing punches,
I paid
man.
Terence Crawford crashes the Stevenson vs. Lopez press conference. The event fully ignited once Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez stopped being polite and went directly after each other's pride.
I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier, he said, Tio never lost to Southpaw. Well, I never lost to Orthodox. So, it ain't no different, but
The difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think
pressure's
y'all
on
did
you.
either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You've
for
never
6
been on a big
rounds.
stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko throw punches for
You've
6
never been
rounds.
on a big stage like
I
this.
didn't see Lomachenko throw punches.
'Cause we
for 6
froze him.
rounds. Okay, you gonna see?
We're gonna freeze you too.
You better not throw the.
Things escalated quickly when Teofimo Senior began talking about breaking codes like Lomachenko and Taylor. Shakur immediately fired back, brushing off those victories and saying Teo has never faced an elite fighter like him.
See their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, with like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur. Real hard.
Man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, you hear him, bro? I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite-level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm gonna.
From that point, it unraveled into constant verbal chaos. Shakur attacking Teo's mental flaws. Teo calling Shakur boring and overrated, with both sides talking over one another like it was round 13 instead of a media event.
100 times better come fight night against Teofimo Lopez than I was against Cepeda. 1,000 times better. Faster, sharper, stronger, mentally more on point, and I can't wait.
You said a couple of times now you see some holes in Teofimo's game. I know you don't want to give away your game plan at the kickoff press conference, but where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything, and I'm going to expose it.
The tension hit its peak when insults turned personal. Voices rose, security remained alert, and the room felt one sentence away from an all-out brawl. Even promoters like Eddie Hearn tried to spin it as legacy and greatness, but the fighters had already taken over the moment.
Thanks for the reminder, Chris. This place is special. I think when this fight was talked about, I think both Shakur and Teofimo Lopez need a huge amount of credit for making this fight. Both of the guys are the respective kings of their division. Teofimo Lopez, the #1 guy at 140, Shakur, the #1 guy at 135. And when I heard about this fight, I didn't expect it to happen. And you know, the work that His Excellency's done, Ring Magazine, to make this fight quite sensational. But the icing on the cake is to see the fight at Madison Square Garden. This is, for me, the absolute mecca of it.
When Turki Alshik phoned in, even he sounded unimpressed by the chaos, which somehow made the situation even more intense.
This fight is the first step of crazy map of boxing next year in the beginning of 27. This is not an easy fight. Thank you.
By the end, both fighters were talking about domination, humiliation, and silencing the other, turning the press conference into a raw preview of just how personal this fight has become. This wasn't promotion. This was real animosity spilling out, and January 31st suddenly feels unavoidable.
I just, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like, cause it's gonna be just a skill match. I don't think he's gonna try to rough Shakur up, and it's probably.
And right after that press conference overflowed with raw emotion and pride on full display, Teofimo Senior jumps on the mic and you can instantly feel the temperature change from chaos to calculated confidence. Listening to him, I'm thinking, okay, this isn't trash talk. This is a father laying out a mindset. He isn't worried about Philly shell impressions or stylistic cosplay from Shakur Stevenson. He's basically saying, we've seen it all and we're not guessing, we're preparing. What really stands out is how much emphasis he puts on growth and mentality.
Crawford in the past, and Crawford stated, "Oh, you only got to me."
Yeah, but he really wanted to fight Crawford, and we're gonna call him out after we beat up his boy. You know,
that's the game plan.
That's
even though you guys have, even if he requires you,
well, he ain't gonna fight us, man. He ain't gonna fight us, man. We've been chasing this guy for the longest. My son is even willing to go up to 160 to fight him. You know, listen, speed kills. You know what I'm saying? Speed kills, and that's why we're gonna beat Shakur. He ain't faster than us, and we're gonna catch him.
He's presenting Teofimo Lopez as a fighter who keeps evolving because he keeps choosing danger over comfort. And that's a strong angle whether you agree or not. When he starts discussing legacy over money, underdog performances against Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, and styles shifting fight to fight, you can hear the belief pouring out. Is it ambitious? Absolutely. Is it dramatic? Of course. But it's also consistent with how Teofimo's career has truly unfolded. I also noticed how confidently he brushed aside things like ring size and gimmicks, basically saying, we're not here to hunt knockouts. We're here to outthink you.
We do this for the legacy. So I told my son, when I told him, let's go after Coleman, let's go after Lomachenko, let's go after Josh Taylor. And all of those three fights, he was the underdog. You know what I'm saying? And big time. I mean, with Josh Taylor, he was like 23 experts said that he was going to lose. So, and he gave an amazing performance, and it wasn't the same as the performance he gave with Barbosa's, like the styles have changed all the time. And that's the scariest part about him, and he comes to entertain.
And yeah, some of the Crawford and Canelo comparisons feel like a stretch, but that's part of the confidence package. What you really leave with is this. Team Lopez isn't coming and hoping to catch lightning. They truly believe speed, adaptability, and pressure can break Shakur's calm. Whether that belief survives 12 rounds is another story. But psychologically, this wasn't noise. This was conviction. And when both sides believe they're smarter, faster, and more prepared than the other, that's when fights stop being predictable and start becoming fascinating.
Did Shakur by any chance implement a bigger ring, or
We don't care about that, man. I mean, we're just gonna box this dude, man. We're not going in there for the knockout. We never do. The only fight that my son looked like sloppy was with convulsions because he was dying in there, and he said that he felt better when he was attacking more, But we never do that. We always box.
And right after Teofimo Senior laid out that entire mental chess narrative, the energy shifts again when Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. jump in, because now we're hearing from men who actually lived inside fights like this. I'm listening and thinking, yeah, this is that grown man boxing perspective. They're basically saying what many of us felt watching the press conference unfold. Those were fighting words, not marketing slogans. But here's the sharp part of their take that really sticks. Shakur Stevenson can create in real time. He doesn't need a script. He doesn't need a mood. He reads, reacts, and builds something round by round like he's painting without looking at the canvas. Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, is dangerous, explosive, and capable of brilliance. But when chaos starts, he still needs an outline to snap back into rhythm.
I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has, and he'll do something dope, and you'll be like, "Ooh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there." But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur.
And Ward and Roy aren't disrespecting Teo at all. They're actually giving him credit for something smart. The disrespect at the press conference wasn't random. It was strategic bait. The goal wasn't to win the argument. It was to make Shakur fight emotional instead of surgical. That's high-level mind games. But here's where I fully agree with Ward and Roy. The worst thing you can do is try to drag a calm, disciplined fighter into chaos when he knows exactly why you're doing it. If Shakur bites, Teo's got a shot. If Shakur stays patient, that plan backfires fast. And the funny part is the legends are basically saying, yeah, if someone talked like that to me, we'd be scrapping right there. But they're also admitting Shakur isn't wired like that. He doesn't need to win the moment. He just needs to win the night. That's the difference. This fight isn't about who talks louder or acts tougher. It's about who keeps their head when the outline disappears and the canvas starts moving.
I think that Teo just painted the outline by being as disrespectful as he can at the press conference because he wants to try to piss this kid off so the kid come fight with him. You understand me? Because with me, he had exactly what he wanted. Because as soon as I go in there, I'm coming straight to his head. You understand where I come from? So, but I think that's what he's trying to get. Yeah, you feel me? But I think that's what he's trying to get Shakur to do. Because why would you say that to a person? What does that have to do with boxing? You feel me? He knows that Shakur has great feet and he's not gonna be able to catch Shakur if he lets Shakur take his time to do what he does. So he gotta try to make Shakur come in and try to kill him, which is what he just did at the press.
And right after Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr. laid out that high-level blank canvas versus outline breakdown, the conversation flows perfectly into something even more dangerous, first-hand experience. This is where Keith Cologne's perspective hits differently. Because now we're not talking theory, we're talking rounds shared in the ring. I'm listening and thinking, yeah, this is exactly why Shakur Stevenson is such a nightmare matchup. Cologne isn't saying Shakur is psychic or mystical. He's saying Shakur reads your body like subtitles. A dip here, a shoulder turn there, and Shakur already knows what you're thinking about throwing before your brain fully commits. That's scary. That's not speed. That's processing. And the funny part is how casual Cologne makes it sound. Like, yeah, he's just always 2 or 3 steps ahead, as if that's normal. That explains why Shakur looks calm while other guys look stressed. He's not reacting late, he's reacting early.
Just sparring him and then watching him, I always notice, I'm like, dang, when he, if you really pay attention to when he spar, when he fight, he already know what you want to throw before you throw it. Not because he's some type of, boxing guru or anything like that, but because he reading your body language. If you dip to this side, I'm already blocking for a possible hook or uppercut. I don't need to worry about a jab or right hand. Because the probability of you throwing that is not even, But, so just watching him and sparring him, being in the ring with him, it's like, dang, just him understanding what a person could throw based on their body positioning. It always put him like 2-3 steps ahead of his opponent.
And when you hear that from someone who actually stood in front of him, it lines up perfectly with what Ward and Roy were saying. Shakur doesn't need chaos. He thrives in clarity. He doesn't rush the picture. He lets it come into focus and then edits it. Then Cologne really drives the point home when he breaks down why Teofimo Lopez, as dangerous as he is, has to be sharp for all 12 rounds. And I love that he doesn't disrespect Teo at all. He straight up says this is a better fight than Shakur's last one because Teofimo is athletic, explosive, and always live. That's fair. But here's where the gap shows. Teofimo's habits. The lead hand dropping, the body shots without protection. Those are small things until you're fighting someone who lives off small things. Cologne brings up moments where Teo didn't adjust fast enough in past fights. And I'm nodding, because that's exactly what Shakur feeds on. One mistake becomes a pattern. The pattern becomes points, and suddenly you're down rounds without realizing when it happened.
So the most notable thing that come to mind is I remember when he fought Sander Martin, like every time he like threw a right hand to the body, he never had his lead hand up. Sander Martin was just check hooking him to death. I'm just like when he's just gonna make the adjustment, you know, when he gonna realize that he just keep getting hit with the right hook every time he try to throw the right hand. So those are the small adjustments that he had to make because, you know, sharp fighter, they gonna capitalize, so he gotta be on his.
Khan isn't predicting drama or knockdowns. He's predicting pressure, mental pressure, the kind where Teofimo gets desperate late and Shakur quietly widens the gap. And that's the most dangerous version of Shakur Stevenson. Not flashy, not loud, just clean, calm, and walking out with a clear win while everyone else is still debating when the momentum shifted. And when you step back and really look at everything laid out, this fight stops feeling like a simple style clash and starts feeling like a full-blown psychology test under bright lights. You've got Shakur Stevenson, calm, calculating, reading patterns before they fully exist, versus Teofimo Lopez, explosive, emotional, and dangerous enough to flip a fight in a single moment if you give him even a crack. The press conference showed us how personal it's become. Teofimo Senior showed us how deeply Team Lopez believes in their plan. Ward and Roy reminded us that words can be traps, and Keith Colon confirmed what so many fighters already know. Shakur doesn't rush chaos. He waits for it to reveal itself. That's what makes January 31st so fascinating. It's not about hype anymore. It's about who sticks to their identity when things get uncomfortable.
It's the stuff that he's tightening up things for Shakur to prepare for him, but also in sparring, because, you know, he may have lagged during this last sparring, so it's a lot, but it's definitely doable. And you know, but this is, you know, this is, you know, the time is now. You know, at the end of the day, oh yeah, for sure, I feel like Shakur is gonna outbox him, and it's gonna be a point in time until he kind of get desperate, and that's when the gap is going wide, and then Shakur is just gonna, you know, come out with a clean victory.
Does Teofimo force the moment and breakthrough, or does Shakur quietly turn 12 rounds into a clinic while everyone argues about when it slipped? Anyway, that's the real debate. So now it's on you. Drop your take in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Pulse.